Thanks, Coach. Well, both teams were hoping the rain would vacate the Green Bay area by kick, but alas, it's still falling pretty steadily in and around Lambeau Field. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up. Green 18. All right, come on now. Come on now.
A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. You don't see that a ton, do you? A cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
On second down, here's Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. Geronimo Allison, the intended target. And it's third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
Let's go. We got this. We got this. Hey, check 26. Right 40. Check. He's coming.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
On second down, McCaffrey. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, Rodgers. To the left side here for Eifert. And he's going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on 3rd down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Mike Daniels, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Throwing now is Rodgers. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
35's the mic.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And he finds a man. It's McCaffrey. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down. Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Rodgers got a throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Damon Harrison bringing in 341 pounds of power for the sack. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
The left side throw complete to Adams. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams. His first touchdown on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 23. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that's complete to Jesse James. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford looking for Amendola, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick six, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visit. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski, that's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. On fourth down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
At their own 10-yard line.
Hard to believe, but 6 weeks of the NFL schedule will have come and gone by the conclusion of this one. But coming up Thursday night, a good one to kick off Week 7. Kansas City and Denver from up at Mile High. Kickoff at 8:20 Eastern, 6:20 local there in the midst of the Rockies. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. Rashawn Melvin in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target. But now it'll be third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
The Packers on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Rodgers from the gun, he'll throw. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
On fourth down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Lions will take over.
At their own 38-yard line.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
Money! Yellow lady! Yellow lady!
The first down carry here for Johnson. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on third? Got a man, it's Amendola. And he's got this down to the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing again. Stafford to the right and complete to Galladay. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Is that not the very definition of a tough yard gain?
Now, is that one where as the receiver you go to your quarterback and say, why'd you even throw that?
Yeah, I think you do, and I think you wonder, what type of a route are you going to send me on?
And this is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run it with Johnson. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Nick bought him. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have got it back to a one-score game. And that is off the left upright. It's no good. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
On 2nd down, it's Howard. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Rodgers now, operating from the gun. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the 1st down. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. Rodgers now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the 1st.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Here's Rodgers. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside. The 40.
4 yards. That's another Packers first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Three down, 3 down.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
What's tight? Tight is right. Over.
And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. This from 54 yards away. And he missed it. It's no good. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. Breaks a tackle, and he'll get to the 30-yard line before going out of bounds.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10, right at the 30. And they start the second half with Johnson. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball, and that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
First down.
Set. Red 80. Hey, watch the ball. Watch the ball.
Stafford gives to Johnson on the draw. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
On 2nd and 7, Stafford. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Now Stafford. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. Way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now this time, Rodgers will throw. Space to maneuver at the 40. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again, Rodgers. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. The left side completion to Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, 1st down.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Danny Amendola, that was the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
10. Hey, box truck.
Throwing again. Stafford. Got his man complete over the middle. That's James. On it, down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Detroit. Jesse James, his 1st touchdown on the year. And the Lions are a 2-point conversion away from tying this game. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Prater on to add the extra point. And this is no good as well. He's missed twice now, and that's the difference in this ball game. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
1
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 22. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Adams. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And middle. Here we go.
C.J. Anderson to the game. He gets it here, and he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Back now at Lambeau. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, and the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Off the edge, the sack by Reggie Ragland.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Another big play and another line 1st down. A great Monday night to wrap up the week in football. 2 division rivals and a great finish ahead as we come up on 1st and 10. Looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. Here's Stafford. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. That catch good for 5. It's third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kenny Golladay, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions have taken the lead. Can you believe it? He misses another one, his third so far. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey on the give. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
It's 2nd and inches at the 50-yard line.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes. And we've got a one-score game. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This is Howard on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Running with Howard. And an alley to run. Howard has the first down and then some. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strong.
On first down, they run with Howard. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Rodgers to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashaan Melvin. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. They begin the drive with Johnson. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Easy.
Again, it's Johnson.
We ain't giving him nothing.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now it's Stafford. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
It's now 4th down.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
Their own 4-yard line.
Look at the aid.
One final try for Rodgers. We've seen this before. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And that is going to seal this victory as time